At the Suffolk County Water Authority, we're responsible for providing water to more than 1.2 million people. And when you serve that many people, you're bound to get lots of questions. Our Customer Contact Center, located in Coram, fields about 600 calls every single day. In this episode, we'll tell you our most frequently asked questions and give you the answers directly from the experts themselves. I'm Jeff Szabo, Chief Executive Officer of the Suffolk County Water Authority, and this is What About Water? Perhaps the question we get asked most often from our customers pertains to brown or rusty water coming from the tap. There are several factors which could lead to temporary rusty water conditions, but I'll let our Director of Customer Service, Rich Reinfrank, elaborate.
Well, there are a number of reasons. It could be a disturbance in the system. More than likely, somebody may have been using a fire hydrant, such as a fire in the area, or tree sprayers where they use the fire hydrants in certain areas, and there could have been another reason perhaps that caused it. Maybe there's a water main break in the area, but whatever it is in the area, or if it is even sometimes the customer's piping, we will always send a field technician to investigate and, if necessary, take the proper procedures and flush the water mains if we find that it's rusty.
If you experience rusty water, we recommend letting the water run at a slow but steady stream for several minutes. If it doesn't clear up by then, please contact us at 631-698-9500. This can also be caused by a faulty hot water heater in your home. So be sure to confirm it's your cold water that's coming out discolored and not just the hot before contacting SCWA. Towards the end of each summer, our Customer Contact Center receives a huge influx of calls pertaining to high water bill complaints. As we discussed in our water conservation episode, many residents don't realize their water consumption increases significantly in the summer months, primarily as a result of lawn irrigation. Because SCWA bills quarterly, some customers, depending on their billing cycle, get hit with 3 months' worth of summer consumption all at once, which we understand can come as quite a shock, especially when compared with a low-consumption wintertime bill. But I'll let our call center manager, Gina Spalding, tackle this one.
Water usage tends to be higher in the summertime, and that's a result of folks using the irrigation system. With irrigation, most folks will use a lot more water than they would generally use over the course of the year. If you're using the irrigation system every day, one way of reducing water consumption is to water your grass every other day, and you should see a reduction in the bill.
As of 2021, SCWA does offer a balanced billing option for those who would like to receive a more consistent quarterly bill. To sign up for balanced billing, call 631-698-9500. Water meters are typically designed to be out of sight and out of mind, but occasionally we do get questions from customers about a noisy meter in the home. You'd be hard-pressed to find someone who knows more about water meters than SCWA's customer service meter foreman, Joe Romano. Joe answers this one for us.
Majority of our customers on Long Island, they have 5/8 meters. Maximum capacity for a 5/8 meter is about 20 gallons per minute. You go, you put your sprinkler system in. You got 4 zones, 3 zones, 5 zones. You got 4 heads on each zone. You know, you're talking 20, 30, 40 gallons per minute coming out of that sprinkler system. The 5/8 meters weren't made to run that fast. So the chamber inside of a Neptune meter, it's a nutating disc compared to a AMCO meter and a census meter, which is a oscillating chamber. It's the design of the chamber itself that we find the Neptune meters are a lot quieter. They move in a smoother way where the AMCO and the census chambers, they actually like bang along the chamber a little bit. So when you do have that high demand for water with your sprinkler system, that's where you're going to get that loud noise from.
In accordance with New York State Department of Health regulations, SCWA does add about 1 part per million of chlorine to the water before it leaves the pump station. This is done to ensure our water is free of any harmful bacteria, even after it's passed through our network of more than 6,000 miles of water main to arrive at your home or business. It's critically important that our water maintains this small chlorine residual, but we do occasionally get questions from residents who say they can smell or taste chlorine in their tap water. Customer Service Senior Supervisor Audra Shelton on what you can do at home to alleviate that.
Well, the first thing you should do is let your cold water run for a couple of minutes, because that smell is what's been sitting in your pipes all night. So you never want to use the water first thing in the morning straight from the faucet. You want to let it run a couple of minutes. And the chlorine always dissipates. A lot of people, what they do is they'll take a pitcher of water, they'll fill it up, and if you let it sit a couple of hours, you won't even smell the chlorine anymore. It just totally dissipates into the air.
Have you ever noticed a pinkish ring forming around your shower or sink drain? Maybe even around the toilet bowl? It's a common misconception that this is related to your water quality, when in fact it's got nothing to do with your water quality at all. Customer Service Supervisor Claudia Bamonte explains.
No, it is not from the water. That is a bacteria called Serratia marcens. And what that is it's due to humidity. Humidity is what caused that pink ring around your toilet or your bathtub. The way you can get that out is just using bleach and water. It will come off if you use bleach and water.
We'll be right back after a quick water break with Correspondent Seth Wallach.
Thanks, Jeff. As we wrap up the celebration of our 70th anniversary in operation this year, I wanted to highlight some SCWA history. And since it's the holiday season, I figured why not spread a little holiday cheer while I'm at it. On this month in 1954, SCWA, still in its infancy as a water supplier, took out an ad in the local newspaper to address its fast-growing customer base, as Long Island's population continued to boom throughout the 50s and 60s. The ad read, "Day in and day out, all through the year we work to serve our customers in a rapidly growing county. We welcome this opportunity to lay aside the cares of business, just long enough to send out a sincere wish that yours will be a happy holiday season." Now, Suffolk County is no longer rapidly growing, but I think I speak for all of us here at Suffolk County Water Authority when I say we stand by that last part. Happy holidays, everybody. Jeff?
Thanks, Seth. Speaking of chemicals in drinking water, we are often asked about the levels of fluoride in SCWA water. This is an easy one for us. Customer Service Supervisor Doug Wadsworth.
There is no fluoride in the water. Suffolk County Water Authority has never put fluoride in our water, and we have no plans to do so in the future.
In 2018, SCWA announced the completion of a landmark project, the replacement of nearly every water meter in our service territory. Nearly 390,000 water meters were replaced with new meters that can be read more efficiently and more accurately than ever before. Virtually eliminating estimated bills was a huge win for our customers, but of course for some, an exact reading can exceed a previous estimated usage. This led to a misconception by some that the new meters somehow measured water use differently than the old meters, which is not the case. The change is simply in how the meter is read by SCWA. Again, Supervisor Doug Wadsworth.
You may have seen a slight increase in your bill. However, this is unrelated to your new meter. The new meter simply allows us to read your meter from the street, and it's a more efficient way to read the meter.
One of the most common misconceptions we hear about our water comes from bottled water drinkers. Many Americans believe bottled water is safer to drink than tap water, which is not necessarily the case, especially when you're talking about constantly tested SCWA water. Bottled water simply isn't held to the same rigorous standards as SCWA water, as Supervisor of Bacteriology and Sample Collection Gavin Marsden explains.
Well, bottled water is regulated by the Food and Drug Administration, whereas SCWA water is regulated by the Environmental Protection Agency and the New York State Department of Health. So it's held to much stricter regulations for water quality and safety.
As we discussed in our water conservation episode, it's important for all Long Islanders to be good stewards of our sole source aquifer and preserve the resource for generations to come. But is Long Island actually running out of water? This is something we get asked all the time. The short answer is thankfully no, but I'll let senior hydrogeologist Scott Strom expand on that.
That's a great question. Actually, water volume in the aquifers has not significantly changed for many years. Our aquifers in Suffolk County hold trillions of gallons of water. We will never really run out of water on Long Island unless it stops raining for many years. The simplest way I like to put it is Long Island's a giant sandbox, surrounded by water with bedrock on the bottom. When it rains, it fills the sandbox or the aquifers. On average, we get 45 inches of rain a year. Now, that doesn't sound like a lot, but you take 45 inches of rain over all the square miles of Suffolk County, and it's a large volume of water. Unfortunately, only about half of this precipitation infiltrates to help recharge the aquifers. The other half is runoff or evaporation. This water helps recharge our aquifers. Groundwater is constantly discharged into the bays and oceans surrounding Long Island. What we don't withdraw would naturally flow out to surrounding water bodies.
We do hope the information contained in this episode was helpful. If you'd like to submit a question for a future episode, email us at whataboutwater@scwa.com. What About Water is produced by Jeff Szabo, Tim Motes, and Seth Wallach. This episode was edited and engineered by Seth Wallach. Be sure to follow Suffolk County Water Authority on Facebook and Twitter. Until next time, I'm Jeff Szabo.
I'm more into the Long Island Water podcast. Oh, yeah, Suffolk County Water podcast. Yes, I'd love to be a guest on that one.